Hello explorers and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about shortcuts in Windows. I know there are many shortcuts in Mac OS and Linux, and most of the shortcuts I'm talking about today are available on those platforms as well. They might differ in the implementation, so there might be different keys. But I would want to talk about the functionalities so you know that these functionalities are available to you so you can use them at your leisure. So first off, I wanted to talk about a standard keyboard layout so we can talk about specific keys on the keyboard. And the keys I want to talk about is caps lock. If you have caps locked pressed, then all the keys that you enter will be uppercase, and if caps lock is disabled, all keys will be lowercase, except if you press shift, then you will do that character uppercase. So that could be good to know. If all your letters are uppercase, then press the caps key, so you will write the rest of the letters in lowercase. Then you have this CTRL button, and this key is with the white little rectangle there, is a control command key that you can combine with other keys to do specific commands. It can be good to know where you can find this key. The same goes for Alt. Is also a command key that you can combine with other keys to do specific commands. And then you have, between these keys, you have a Windows flag, and that could also be used to do specific commands. So Control, Alt, Windows key and Shift are the keys I want to talk specifically about today. Tab key that you see above the caps is also one key that I will mention. And the thing with the Shift key and the Tab key on specific keyboard layouts could be that they could have an arrow up for the Shift key and two arrows facing different directions on the Tab key. So that's the way to actually find them on your keyboard. I'll also talk about two function keys. They are usually named by F1 and F2 and so on, and I will talk about the first two there a little bit as well. So first off, if you have any application open and you press F1, you will open help for that application. In this case, for this application, I opened help for the application in Chrome. But if you have a different application than this little Paint application, then you will open it in a different window. And then you have F2, which could be good if you have a file marked or a file selected on your desktop or anything like that, or in a folder, and you want to rename it. You can use F2 to engage the renaming a file. It can be a little bit tricky to double click a file in order to rename it, so it could be good to know that you have that option as well. And if we enter this little editor I have here, so this is Microsoft Visual Code. This is a really good program if you do editing and you want to write code, but most of the things I will talk about today will be applicable for any other application as well. So first off, if we have selected some text here and press Ctrl C, we will copy that text to clipboard. And this clipboard is a temporary place where we save some data that we have copied so we can later paste it in somewhere. So if we press Ctrl V, we will paste that text in again. And in this case, I paste it in the same direction. If I paste it down here, I will get a copy of that text. So that's a way you can copy some text from some place to another. So Ctrl C to copy text, Ctrl V to paste text. And if you open this little menu by right-clicking on the text, you can see those short commands here, Control-C, Control-V, to copy and paste text. And the one above here, cut, if you have some text marked, and press Control-X, you will cut that text out. And if you do something that you don't want to do, you can undo that by Control-Z, and that will undo the last command you did. And if you want to redo that command, you can use Control-Y. That will redo the last command again. So Z to undo something, Y to redo something, and use the Control key to control these actions. And if you are at some point and you want to mark something, you can press Shift to mark something, and you hold Shift and go back and forth to mark things. And if you press the Control, you can actually jump a full word while marking. So that could be good if you want to mark stuff. You can use the Control and just press the arrow keys in different directions, left or right, and jump one word as well. And you can use Control Home and Control End to go to the home, the first letter in your document, so the top of the document, and Control End to the end of the document. And you can use Control A to mark everything, and this could be really good if you want to copy paste a large amount of text from somewhere to somewhere else. You can do Control A, Control C, Control V, and you will copy everything from one spot to another. So that could be a good way to do this. And the next thing I want to show, I need actually to open a Chrome window because this editor will not show that well. So if we have a home page, for instance google.com, and I want to zoom into this home page, I can hold Control and then use my scroll wheel in order to zoom in and out of this page. So if I want to see something in the page and it's hard to read, I can use my scroll wheel in order to actually zoom in and out. So that could be good to know as well. Next up, let's see here. I want to talk a little bit about the Alt key as well. So if I have this window and I press Alt and then Tab, I can actually change application I'm working with by just moving through them and then selecting one application. For instance, this paint application, and go there, and then use the same to go back to my editor there. So I used Tab to go in this menu back and forth. And I can use Tab and hold Shift, I will go back in the order. So if I use Tab and Alt and Tab, I go forward to the right. Alt Shift Tab, I go backwards to the left. So everything that you do usually have a shift equivalent that is the opposite of what you did. So if I do Alt Tab and go to the next application, I can do Alt Shift Tab to go to the previous application. And you can also use the Alt command to open different menus. So if you press Alt and look at the file menu here, it's a little bit hard to see because it's very small, but actually in my first menu here, File has the F underlined. So in order to open this menu, I can use the F key. In this case, I pressed the D key, so that was not the correct key that I wanted to show off. So if I press F instead, I open the file menu, and then I can go to, let's say, a new file. If I press new, it will open new file, and so on. So I can move through the menus by looking at the underlined letters and open that specific thing by pressing that key on the keyboard. Next, I want to talk about the Windows key and the things you can do with the Windows key. First off, if we press the Windows key, we will open up the Start menu, and you can start typing here in order to search an application and start that application up. Windows key again will close that Start menu. And if you use Windows key D, you will look at your desktop. And if you use Windows key D again, you will open up all the applications that you closed by using Windows D. So that's a handy way to look at your desktop or start a new application or anything like that if you need to do that. Windows key M will actually also minimize all your windows, but they will stay minimized until you want to open them up again. You can undo this by Windows key Shift M to open up all the applications that you previously minimized if you don't do anything else in between. And then you have Windows L. That could be used to lock your computer. If you want to leave your computer, do something, fetch a cup of coffee for instance, and you don't want anyone go over and hacking on your computer, then you can use the Windows L key to actually lock your computer, go fetch your coffee, go back and unlock your computer when you want to start working again. And the next thing I want to show is that you can actually use the Windows key on your different windows here in order to move them around. So if I use Windows key and press down, I will unminimize that window, so it will be a floating window in the layout again. And if I use Windows key and up, it will be maximized again to take the full width of the screen. And if I go put down two windows, so I have both of these maximized, then I can actually use Windows key right to position that window on the right side of the screen, and I can do the same with the other windows but put it on the left side by pressing Windows key on the left, and I will actually have divided these applications equally to the left and the right, so I can work with them in a split screen mode. So I have some content to the left that I want to read, for instance, and then I work on the right, or vice versa. And when you are using key commands, there could be one thing that you want to look after, and that's if I move myself a little bit here, you can see that I actually have a keyboard layout here down in the right corner saying Swedish. So that's my keyboard layout at the moment. And if you use the Alt Shift key and just press them, you will switch language or keyboard layout. So Alt Shift left Alt Shift will change language, and left or Control Shift will shift keyboard. So if you have different keyboard layouts, Control Shift will switch them out, and if you have different languages, you can use the left Alt Shift to switch those out. And if you use the right Alt and Shift, then you will actually change your direction of the text. So if you have a language that can float in two directions, so you can actually write Arabic, for instance. I think they are typing things that actually float from the right to the left. Then you can switch the direction of the text by using the Alt keys and the Shift. So this was what I wanted to cover today. I hope that you found this video interesting. I hope that you learned something today. If you liked it, please give it a like, share it with your friends and your colleagues. If you like programming videos and machine learning videos, please subscribe to the channel. I usually do something that is that you can learn something from, and I release videos every Monday morning. So I hope that you subscribe if you liked this content, and yeah, I really hope to see you in the next video.